It is that time for my response to a tweet. And today's tweet says, I can't believe the RNC would sell us out. How did this happen? I can't believe the RNC would sell us out. How did this happen? Wow. Anybody that knows and listens to the Phil Williams Show knows that I'm going to be honest with you. It might not come across the way that you're accustomed to, but I'm going to just be honest with you and go where I think I need to go to respond. But here's my response. We've always been taught, especially with our faith, to judge a tree by the fruit that it bears. We've also heard cliches like if it walks like a duck, talks like a duck, acts like a duck, it's not a chicken, even though they both got feathers. We've also known that there's various other ways to decipher or to discern what something is, who somebody is, or what not. Sometimes you have to look before you leap. But the biggest thing in all these things is you got to recognize so that you can make a better decision. How we got here is because it's almost like how we got Trump. Trump is the byproduct of a whole bunch of poking and prodding from liberals. They figured out how to get us. They figured out that once we started compromising with them to try to get along, that they've had something there. You're looking at the byproduct of 40 or 50 years of trying to get along with liberalism. What happened was this. They figured out that they can't win straight up, so they had to start registering like Republicans. They started voting like Republicans in insignificant places, but to develop a track record of looking and sounding like a Republican. But when it comes to significant things, like funding and budgets and things like this, then they started voting like liberals, like they truly are. So they register as a Republican, say some cool little Republican things, but when it's really, really significant, they vote like liberals. So after 30, 40 years of this, along comes 2008. This African American that Republicans want to prove they're not racist and things of this nature, and they let him go through. He says some cool little down the middle of the road type stuff. You're frustrated with George Bush. You're frustrated with the economy. So he can have a populist message. I'm going to fix this and fix the tides and rise of this and the oceans and this and that. And then you're trying to prove you're not racist, so you go along with it. But you're forgetting one thing. They're liberal. So 2008 comes, Barack Obama's elected, they have the House, the Senate, and the White House. They ramrod a liberal point through, Obamacare. No Republicans vote for it. The sleeper cells of the liberals that's really there, they get to sleep. Why? Because they don't need their votes. They don't need to go on the record. So you get a all liberal, no Republican vote on Obamacare. It doesn't stop there. So because they have it, they don't need their liberal sleeping cells. We call them rhinos. They don't need their liberal change to a Republican. They don't need that guy to poke his head up, or that girl. Now the power of the purse comes in. You're upset, you're angry, you feel like the liberals are running over you, but now the recourse that you have is the power of the purse. So now they're going to defund Obamacare. Now that Obamacare's gone through, the Tea Party rises up. Now we get the House and the Senate back, but what you have forgot, or what you didn't recognize, is that there were liberals that registered as Republicans. But maybe you didn't know. You're pissed off. We got the Tea Party in. We got the House and the Senate back, or more so the House, and we got a smaller margin in the Senate. So we're on our way. But now it comes time for them to defund Obamacare. And they started showing something that you refuse to look at. They started showing that they're not going to defund it. They told you one thing and did something different. They got you to vote for them, get them in, and they did something different. See the pattern here? And then next thing you know, we get the House and the Senate back based on what? Your frustrations. But you didn't recognize the game they're playing. Say what it takes for you to elect them, then get in and then do something totally opposite than what you elected them for. And so this is going on for the next 6 years. Here we are, 2016, 2015, we got 17 candidates on the stage. And one lesson you didn't learn is stop looking for these candidates. We the people are screwed up. We're looking for a candidate, a personality. We're not functioning on principle, especially the principle of the Constitution. We the people. You're still looking for someone, them, the government. So we got 17 candidates on stage. Every single one of them is saying, I can do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. Our country's not built for them singly to do anything. It's built for we the people. Donald Trump comes in, says what he's going to do. Ted Cruz comes in, says what he's going to do. Ben Carson, Marco Rubio, Jeb Bush, everybody, I. Every single debate, I. Nobody's saying we the people. We're not standing on principles. We're looking for another personality. Why? Because the fundamental transformation of America is to never look at we the people's strength. It's always to look at the personality of an individual. So what is happening with the RNC? They're not the RNC. It's the DNC. Stop looking at them as Republicans. Stop thinking you owe this party something. You don't owe this party anything. It's just a party. It's a gang. It's a clique. Delegates, you don't need this party's permission to do what the Constitution allows you to do. Vote your conscience. Do what the Republicans have never did. Put this thing on Obama's desk and make him veto it. Don't punk out just because they said, oh, you can't do it. No, do it and make them sue you. And if you're gonna go down fighting. You do not have to do what these people say. Why? Because they're not Republicans. You don't owe them anything. They're our servants. Start functioning like we're in control. Start functioning like you know what our founders meant. Don't let these people who are not Republicans, who are not representing the Constitution, who are constantly selling our country down the road, stop thinking you owe them anything. Get back to we the people. And if we lose this election, getting back to we the people, we have set the table for the next time. Because if you don't, you're just like those Republicans that acquiesced to the government shutdown because Obama said, and we're afraid to get the blame, and they act like a bunch of punks. Oh, we're not going to pass the legislation because Obama said he's going to veto it, and act like a bunch of punks. Delegates, do not fall into this trap. The RNC is nobody to us. Judge that tree by the fruit that it bears, and it is liberal. It is more DNC than it ever was RNC. And they've proven it. And they're forcing you into being a punk and give us somebody who has been voting Democrat that just switched over as an R and is about to destroy our country. Stop buying into this voting for no for Trump is a yes for Hillary. Do you understand? The RNC said yes to Hillary. Everybody that says his asinine things has said yes to Hillary. Because there's no way on God's green earth that Donald Trump can win. He's a master bigot. He can't win talking about what he doesn't need. It was Hillary and liberalism anyway. They just need you to punk out. Man, think, people. Man, I'm Phil Williams, and that's my response to a tweet on the Phil Williams Show.